Hi, I'm SA, and this is As It Is. Today, we'll be talking about food shortage and inflation in Nigeria. Join us. It is no news that in Nigeria today, food shortage is a big issue, especially for the fact that we import almost everything we eat, and then the farmers that actually produce the food we eat are peasants who don't have all the necessary things to be able to produce in large scale. So the first question I care to ask is, what are the main causes of the food shortage in Nigeria? Perspective.
Okay. We know, so let us give a definition to it. When you say food shortage, it's a situation that occurs when the food that is available is not able to satisfy the people that are in demand for that food. So let's say, for instance, every one of us here needs to, I'm just trying to break it down, we need to eat maybe 1 derica of rice per day. And the 4 of us here now, we need 4 dericas of rice per day. And the rice that is available for us, for the 4 of us, is not 2 derica. You can see in that instance that it's food shortage. So that is to break it down. Now, there are different factors that we can see that result in food shortage. Now, taking the Nigerian situation as it is today, one of the main cause of our food shortage in Nigeria today is insecurity. Now, we know that most of the food that we eat down south here comes from the north. Most of the beef, the cow meat that we eat comes from the north. Jos used to be the food basket of the nation. And we all know what's going on there, insecurity. We hear farmer headers clash and all that. So for the Nigerian situation now, the number one cause of food shortage today is insecurity. Farmers can no longer go to the farm because they're not sure if they will come back alive. The clash between the farmer and the headers, we hear all sorts of wickedness happening there, where the headers go to the farmer's field to use their crop, what they are growing, to feed the nation, to feed their own animals. For me, that is insensitivity. So if they are known that they are feeding, using the farmers' crops and all that to feed their cow, that is further going to have negative impact on the food chain. On the other hand, we need cow meat, so also do we need yams, we need maize, we need all that. So if the headers just trying to carry out their own business now are not putting the business of the farmers in jeopardy, which in turn now snowballs to the food shortage that we are having today.
It actually goes beyond the headers. The whole kidnapping situation in Nigeria, Boko Haram, causes major displacements.
Yeah, that one is, I'm saying what, insecurity. They are all summed up under insecurity.
Tolu, any perspective on this?
Well, so I can speak first from the perspective of being a farmer's wife, interestingly. So I know that one issue really is the cost of inputs these days. I mean, recently I was reading online about NPK. So I'm aware, for example, you use NPK fertilizer for maize farming, at this rudimentary knowledge, right? And I know that when my husband started, cost for NPK fertilizer was probably maybe 3,000. As at some years ago, it was about 7,000 max. But now it's about 30,000 naira.
That is outrageous.
I mean, so first of all, that's just one input that you're going to use to produce. One crop. So if one input has that astronomical increase in its cost, consider how many other inputs are that expensive. I mean, there's urea as well, which is even more expensive than NPK, right? And right now, I thought we are considering, okay, wait first. If we're planning to do 50 hectares, 150 hectares, bros, I still need to eat at home. Don't use all our food money. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be producing food as well. But don't put everything on the crop. Because the other challenge is, while the farmers, right, are expending so much in producing the crop, it doesn't translate to their own income at the point of sale.
Okay, so that is a good one. So farmers spend so much to be able to produce, yet they don't get so much. But the food is expensive for the everyday people.
So my untried theory is that the bottleneck is really at the middleman level, right? Because obviously the farmers don't have direct access to the market.
Yeah.
So by the time the middleman increases, so let's say he buys a truck. I mean, what am I saying? The other year we sold a truck of watermelon for about 200,000 naira. This year, crazy. They're asking, the middlemen are saying, oh, there's glut in the market, let's buy for 50,000 naira. And I'm saying, hold on. So if you're even saying there's glut, that means that I, as a consumer, I should also feel the impact, right? So maybe something, a slice I buy for 200 naira, I should probably buy it for 50 naira now. But the output, what you're selling to me at the market as a consumer, is more expensive. But you're trying to buy from the farmer way less than what you were paying for. The same product, same size, 200,000 to 50,000, and it's just ridiculous.
Okay, so hold your thought. Wale, what's your take on this?
Well, personally, I think I'm not buying this insecurity thing. I know that insecurity.
But it is the reality.
Well, it's some kind of reality, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I know that there's insecurity in real time, but insecurity now is the excuse for everything in Nigeria now. And personally, for me, I think that people are just greedy. I think we have a greedy government, and that's the reason why we have food shortages. We have people that just want to milk, the average or the simple man, from taxes, from high food taxes and very poor policies. That's my perspective.
Okay, so
Let me just to buttress the points. There are so many factors. We are only just saying that when you have factors, you have major and minor factors. For today and in the present world today, insecurity. And I'll give you another example: the Russia-Ukraine war. What is happening millions of miles away is affecting us here in Nigeria.
Well, that's not insecurity now.
It's insecurity, it's war. What do you call war? What is war?
Well,
When you say war,
you are saying it's insecurity not on the borders of Nigeria.
I'm trying to.
Let's not forget that Nigeria is a very blessed country. There's almost nothing that you're looking for outside Nigeria, especially in the area of food.
Yes.
That we don't have here.
Yes.
So personally, it's happening there, and I know that yes, it's affecting bread and a couple of other staples. But I will still stand on the fact that people are greedy.
And I agree with you, really.
I will stand on the fact people are
outside
greedy.
the fact that there's insecurity,
Yes.
which I think we can agree on, but there's also a glaring incompetence on the part of the government to create policies that would ensure that we have enough food. I mean, while we know that we import wheat from these countries fighting, but we can produce the same.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's greed on the one hand, where everybody thinks that it's only when I export that I'm going to get good returns. But your people are dying of hunger, and you are looking for money. The money that you're going to spend in the same country, by the way. So there's that one. So, and there is no policy framework to guide that, okay, so if you produce 100%, you must sell 70% locally. There is no policy framework for that. So, I mean, if you solve insecurity and there's no policy, we are likely still going to face the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And the greed, by the way, is not just for the government. I mean, the middleman who is buying from the farmer, selling to the market, is not a government person.
Yes.
He's an average everyday man who just wants to make the most profit out of something that it has very little input, really.
Okay, let me just, I will say something to what you said, then I will go something else. Well, somebody said yesterday, some of the shows that we have had, that an average Nigerian man is selfish.
Even the government.
Government is greedy. Government is made up of people.
Yes. An average Nigerian man is selfish, and that is why you see when something, let's say, PMS, when price of PMS goes up, even those that do not have any direct chain link to PMS will increase their product. And in Nigeria, you don't say anything that goes up
Never comes
down. So that's one. So buttressing what you said as regard policy, excellently well. like I said, there are so many factors. That's also one of the factors, instability in policy. Now, we could see from the present government now that there's instability. I am amazed to see that they have not gotten it right in the area of their policies. And many of their policies, the previous government under Femi Adesina tried to some extent to bring some stabilities, and there were some innovations in the area of agriculture. That was when we had we had them trying to make bread from cassava and all that. So they were good innovations. And another point again that I could say that one of the factors for cost, we don't have we don't have the food process chain, where you have someone produce, let's say fish, for instance. We have fishes in our oceans, river, and all here, but we don't have the industry that will take that fish from that raw fish, any kind of fish spread here, and make it into the processed food that people want to buy on the go, and maybe you have as a ready staple in the morning and all that, sardine, the geisha, and all those things. We have a lot of our food chain, our food that are produced in the farm gets spoiled along, in between, transporting them from the farm to the market.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, and also
I
agree with you.
Yeah.
Which is why, see, for me, when we a lot of the times when we talk about problems, we try to put them in this box and give it one nice name and just dress it. And at the end of the day, if you if you pull down all the curtain, you will see that there's a man behind all this thing.
yes.
Yeah, still sitting on that.
Yes,
That's fact.
and the
No, your
fact
point
that
is valid.
You can see all this policy, there's no this, there's
Can
no
I,
that. At the end of the day, there is one man or a few men at the back of all these things.
Let me bring another perspective. While we have established the fact that there's somebody somewhere or some people somewhere that are behind this thing trying to ensure that they milk things for themselves and make it difficult for the rest of the people. No problem. How about the fact that our economy runs or hinged against the dollar? And so every time there is a situation globally, globally, it impacts everything here. So you go to the market, you want to buy pepper, they say, dollar tell us, okay.
I think it's a systemic problem.
And it takes us back to the
Yes,
policy
it's a
issue.
systemic.
Because
Yes,
if we're not importing these things, what's our business?
yeah, it's a systemic problem, and like the if at all we discussed the Nigerian dream here some time ago, and the Nigeria that we have, I am sorry to say that what the leaders that we have, that they are not forward thinking. That if our leaders are forward thinking, then there will be structure. There's nothing stopping us from having a workable 25-year plan that everyone in the country key into that plan.
Those plans exist.
But they are not implementing it.
And that's the challenge.
They are not implementing it.
There's a general perspective that the government does not have willpower, the ability to actually pull through on plans that are in place.
Also,
People are the problem.
not necessarily the problem. I mean, just everyday citizen. Because like they say, people get the government they deserve.
Exactly.
In your house, I mean, husband, wife, 2 children, right? Do you guys have a 10-year plan? Because it is the type of person that you are that will reflect when you get to government. Somebody who finds it difficult to plan for 6 months, personally, how do you expect that person to get to government and do a 25-year plan? He's not used to it. He doesn't know what it means. He doesn't know why he should do it. Because in his personal life, he doesn't think that way. I mean, and obviously, we now have systems that don't encourage that type of thinking. If you're abroad, for example, you have access to mortgage, 25-year mortgage, 30-year mortgages. I mean, you are forced to plan for that long time because you can't say you get it today and then 2 years' time it's gone. The processes that are there so that individuals are forward thinkers. But here, everything around us ensures that you're only thinking about now. Right? So, I mean, it's the people that become the leaders.
Yeah, but
right?
so
it's really back to the people. You and I, how do we ensure that we become those people?
So, where do we go from here? Where do we go?
Okay,
Don't take us
I have
back.
an angle.
Where
Okay,
do we go
I have
from
an angle.
here?
It's saying where do we go from here?
So one of the other things that I noticed, or rather I want to say, is this: I remember the president at some point in time said that we have to go to the farm.
Everybody should go back to the farm.
Should go to the farm. Maybe I think it was misunderstood, and I kind of agree with that perspective because I think that everybody. Now, the idea is not that we should all take hoe and cutlass and go and buy land. And
No, but
start
you
farming.
agree with
But
me.
you're saying that
The idea is that we should have a mentality.
Of producing.
Yes, we should have an agricultural mentality. There's nothing wrong with Sean. Hold on.
You
There's
need-
nothing
you need
wrong
to-
in everybody having a little farm.
Okay,
At the back of your house.
back to the matter.
Do you understand?
See, hold on.
And
Wale,
which is
Wale,
what
Wale,
I-
I'm
which is
going
what
to
I-
cut you.
I
Hold on.
Okay.
While you say that everybody should have a farm, the people who do are still facing challenges.
So why should I have
You understand? So why should everybody
How
have a
many
farm?
people? How
We're
many
talking
people
about
do it?
farmers.
For
We're
example,
talking
now,
about goods
in the West
getting
now.
destroyed.
In the
Hold
West.
on.
So-
We're talking about goods getting destroyed between farm and markets. What's the solution to
Except I
that?
say we should plant what we are going to.
So
Yeah, you can plant some things you
here's
eat.
the line.
I should go and have a
Here's
farm
the
on
line.
China Island. Is that what you're
You
saying?
live in a 2-bedroom flat that is rented. Where which
It's
land
not,
do
it's
you
not,
want to
it's
plant?
not, it's not, I don't think, I don't think it's a realistic plan. I don't think it's a,
So for me, so you asked where do we go from here?
yes.
For me, if I were to be the president, let me assume I was the president, I would try all I can. If we can fix insecurity issue, where the farmer will go to the farm and is not watching his back that somebody is coming to attack him with an AK-47, or one cow or one cattle is coming to, that when I come tomorrow morning, all my crops are already gone. If we can fix that issue of insecurity and bring a lasting solution between the herders and the farmers clash, that every one of them know their boundary. The government they've proposed ranching and all that. In the 21st century that we are now, you can't have your cow or your cattle roaming around everywhere looking for food. It's even stress for the animals. So I will encourage that there's peace between the farmers and the herders clash. That's the solution. If there's peace that everybody knows their boundary, then both of them will thrive on their own. Then in turn, there will be food security for the nation.
Tolu, where do we go from here?
I think I will lean towards his own perspective in terms of moving forward. At the end of the day, there has to be policy frameworks from financing for farmers to ensuring that most of the things that we produce locally are retained locally, right? From something as simple as charcoal. People are producing charcoal in Nigeria and they're exporting it, right? Because everybody is focused on forex. I mean, so you are talking about insecurity, and largely I agree. But one thing, I mean, put in mind that my perspective is from a farmer's wife.
Yeah.
I get some form of
Yeah.
information from there. For example, a good number of actual farmers on the field believe that this farmer herders clash, it's always been. So it's not a new phenomenon.
Okay.
It's always been there. Communities and this farmer, because they've always been cohabiting. They are not new. These guys didn't just come from the north to come and destroy wherever they've always been there, right? And the communities have always found a way to manage themselves.
Okay.
It just now feels like everybody's seeking attention from external people, the government, and then there's social media that is amplifying it.
Okay.
Right? So there's that part which is fair, right? But the other part, I mean, we farmed in Oyo State, for example, consortium of investors abroad got significant money. I was talking about financing. These guys get access to finance in the US, less than 10%. And then they had to start paying back and whatever. We're trying to get the same financing in Nigeria. You cannot believe
Can't
the
get it,
interest rate.
yes.
These guys invested almost R1 billion, machinery, clearing land, 500 hectares, mechanized farming.
Yes.
And then 4 or 5 years after, they had to exit. And that wasn't about insecurity. I mean, in the last year of operations, my husband, who was managing the operation, had to get a mobile police to go about with him because we now started having more incursions of these herders, and then there were kidnapping issues. But that was in the last year of operations. The 3 years before was an issue of financing. right? The cost of inputs is not an insecurity matter.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right, I said there are many factors.
There are many factors.
There are many factors. It's much. Yes.
There are so many of them.
There are many factors.
The policies that would protect people who come with significant investment into the farm, there's no policy that protects them. Even at the point of importation, at the ports, we brought in machinery and the money these guys were asking for.
To clear
Mad.
it. Yeah.
Not only to clear it, to even get to do some form of testing for your soil, you have to take it out of Nigeria. Do you understand how crazy that is?
That one is infrastructure.
What happens
is everything.
If you do that much investment in a country, if you eventually decide to, put in all that money, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to take everything, I'm going to sell it and make dollar. Do you understand? I'm going to take everything out.
Yeah, because obviously the local market is not.
I'm not going
because
to.
your loan is in dollars, and then Nigeria's naira is so crazy. You can get a loan today at an amount where naira is, and then in 2 years' time, you are going to be doing
that. Let me add this last factor before we wrap up. We are talking about food insecurity. Many of us today don't want to go to farm again. But trusting what everybody wants a white collar job or a
No, but it's because farming is not lucrative.
It's not lucrative.
My husband has been farming for 10 years. At least he went to school. So it's not a question of illiterate.
Yeah.
He's a graduate.
But how many of the contemporaries are farming?
No, but you know how it is now.
Yeah.
So he finished school, went into it. First two productions were okay. He tells his friends who are fellow graduates, now it's not everybody that has to go to the farm.
Yeah.
Your contribution to farming could just be, I'm investing. Right? I'm doing my white collar job, but I put my money in farming. Because if the farmer doesn't have money...
I have a question to ask.
If the farmer doesn't have money, how is he going to produce? There is no access to finance because the rates are crazy. And then these guys put in money, but then at the point of putting in your money, you say, oh, you're going to get X percent.
Can I just...
You're going to get ROI, and then something happens, inputs are increasing. Even the cost of tilling your land, from 5,000 naira that we started with, is now about 18,000.
Oh, my shell.
See how you even said it. See how you even said it. Don't come me, oh. You see? Because your money is not there. If your money was there,
you will be more concerned. My question now is that, so what is the hope of the common man, the everyday person on the street, that wants to be able to at least just make a living and feed his family? Salary remains at XYZ. It never goes up. But this food keeps going up, sometimes unavailable. And so, of course, you know what scarcity does now?
Yeah, the price up.
The price goes up. How is the common man going to survive?
You know something I read online? I'm always online because of my job. And one thing I read was when you're going to, I'm a lady, obviously, I go to the markets. Yeah. So typically, I would have, before the end of the month, I've written everything I need. And then I have an idea of the total. I would have done calculations, bros, wow. These days, I don't write a list. I know the basic things that must happen, must be at home in the house. I go with the small change I have, and I go with prayers. Do you understand? Because you can't go with it. There was one time that I went to the market. As I buy, I also put the cost. Yeah. The second month. And I'm looking at the cost versus what I bought last month, and I'm saying, what type of budget am I going to do? Because your budget will never meet it. In terms of hope, honestly, I don't have an answer to it. You will work 5 jobs. That's the hope of the common man.
What I would say is that people could learn to collaborate. You could maybe at the end of the month, say you have a few friends, put the money together. If you buy in bulk, let's say maybe you have to buy a cow, and then the cow costs, I don't know, whatever, 20,000. And it's an assumption.
Don't make that.
You don't even collaborate now. There's a solution.
Maybe cow is taller than maybe goat.
No, even cow.
Whatever it is.
50,000.
Whatever it is. If you buy, it might not even be meat. It could be pepper. It could be anything.
Yeah, people do that collaboration now.
Do that. Yeah, and then we can encourage it. If you do that, what happens?
Let me even give our viewers maybe something practical that I do. I go to the abattoir once in a month. When you go to abattoir, the key cow, you'll share it half if you want half. The price is there. The cow is like, let's say 250,000 or 270,000 for an average cow. Half of it, you are buying half. To contain everything that cow has, half of it, 135. If you are buying 1/4, so that's what I do. I just go to the market. I buy meat once in
But the everyday
That's
person.
not an average man.
So the average man.
An average man doesn't have
has no
35,000
hope.
naira.
That's what
No,
it
I don't
means.
buy 135.
Even though we are
No, you
also
can
like,
buy. You
get
can.
large storage.
You
I
understand?
buy one cow per year, but I know that that's not average.
No, you can.
That's
No,
not
average
average.
guy is
The
buying
the average
500
guy
naira.
is going to buy maybe one Indomie, and then he just to try
Indomie
wants to try and
can't
make
go,
a
that's
small
a
soup. You understand?
Yeah.
That's
So,
35K
so one
average.
of the other things that I have also realized is that
What pays out?
maybe
does,
I think
I
in
agree.
Lagos things are very food is very expensive. You know, if you move out of Lagos, it's maybe slightly cheaper.
the same.
Hold on. It's some kind of food is slightly cheaper.
I will
You
shock.
get-
I will shock you.
For example, now fruits
We need to round
in
up.
certain parts of Lagos because they grow it there. You know, when it's the season, it's cheap. It's cheaper. But the transportation.
let me shock you.
Hold
We need to round up.
To
We need to round up.
transport
Things are
it
cheaper
down.
in Lagos than even in the villages.
So
I'm telling-
in closing,
I'm telling you today.
one
I don't
statement
disagree.
in closing on this subject. I know I asked earlier, what is the hope of the common man, the average man? But it seems as if the future seems bleak. Like
No, there's hope.
Okay, so
Yeah, the hope.
one statement.
The hope is for us to keep hoping and pray. Well, see,
What's
the
your hope?
hope.
That-
The hope of a common man is.
That is disappointing.
Yes. So if you put your trust in, let me now balance it up now. Say, woe unto he that puts his or her trust in man. Say, the watchman watcheth but in vain if the Lord does not watch.
Rich preacher.
So, as a man, how am I surviving? God has been gracious. God never abandons his own. So everyone hearing me, just what? Know God for yourself and try to get the best out of God. He will open ways for you.
That's why they say religion can never die.
Yeah, it can't.
Sit down. Of course, I'm a Christian, by the way, so let me
Can
just say.
die.
But in terms of what people can do, honestly, as much as you can, expand the opportunities you have to diversify your income.
And make more income.
And make more income, honestly. I mean, you have people who are earning in the millions, but they are selling kaba. They are selling, even whether it's online packaging, they are still doing something to augment that income. You can't stay on one income in Nigeria of today.
Even
God will
abroad.
bless,
Even abroad.
right? God will bless you, but you also need to be smart. There's
Yeah.
tech, everybody's talking about tech now.
Yeah.
Do something around tech. If you're not doing something around tech, if you have a mobile phone, sell something on Instagram.
Yes.
Right? I bought something on Instagram when there was pepper, whatever, last year. That's why I don't agree that if you go out of Lagos, things are cheaper. I don't agree. Because this babe said she buys from Jos.
I mean more.
She said she
more
buys from,
expensive.
that's what he said.
That's what I said.
The babe
please.
buys from Jos. I bought something of 25K. Yam, pepper, and something. Assuming that because I'm in Lagos, I couldn't
Yes.
even go to the market to ask for cost of pepper. By the time she came, 25,000 only poly bag loaf igbewa.
Can you imagine?
Wait, is it not just? Of course, so I don't know how to I don't know how to tell somebody, is this thing, did you scam me? I just know that I won't talk to you again. 25,000 poly bag. No, I ain't just. Let me
So things are cheaper here.
Your perspective, Wale.
Things are somehow cheaper here. Even in my village,
One
you were-
statement.
For me, I think I'll still stay with what I said. A few of
Everybody
what I
is
said
confirmed.
earlier. No, not entirely. I mean, if you have the opportunity to, and you can, maybe you can have a small farm for yourself. That's fine. But what I will say is this. Firstly, I think the Nigerian economy, Nigerian atmosphere, the whole Nigerian thing, gives you room to start to think out of the box. And collaborations is one way to go about it.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, on a daily or weekly basis. You can find someone that, okay, so you are buying pepper today, we're buying, maybe if we add the money together,
You buy it
we can buy more.
wholesale.
Yeah, so if you buy more, we can
share
split
it.
it. Yeah, and then see how that goes.
People are doing that, right?
All right. It has been an interesting session, and unfortunately, time will not permit us to go beyond this. But I mean, the reality is that concerning the case of inflation, concerning food shortage, the reality is that government policies need to change, and then people also need to diversify and get more income. I mean, we just need to be creative and think outside the box. And I trust that you've had a good one today. Thank you.